Hello, my name is Michael Longoria. I'm the operations manager here at Universal Screens. Today we're going to show you a video on how to switch a auto clutch left into an auto clutch right. Sometimes we have issues to where you order a motor and it will be on the left side. You'll order the clutch, which the auto clutch is actually motor side specific. So it needs to be on the same side that you're going to have your electric. There are certain circumstances where you'll get out there, you need to switch it around, you made a mistake, you ordered it left, it should have been right. So instead of taking it off, what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you how to switch it so that way you can continue using the clutch without having to remove the whole, the clutch itself. So what we did here is we actually set up a motor. It's set up for a left side motor, and it does have a clutch on it. So I'm going to show you step by step how to take it out, remove the motor, remove the clutch, and then change it to a right side clutch. So here we go. We're going to remove it from, sometimes there will be a housing hood, or you'll have the mounting brackets, which you can do. Either way, just you're going to remove the tube altogether. We'll go ahead and get these out of the way. Now, if you look at the tube, there's going to be a motor screw. This is actually what holds the motors in place. So what we're going to do is remove the first one on the bottom. You're going to find this screw. You're going to go 180, and you're going to have a second screw here. Instead of removing the whole Velcro, you can actually just cut out a small strip to expose that screw. And there's our screw. And it's best to save this small piece here so we can go ahead and replace it once the motor is back in. We'll go ahead and remove this screw. And this should allow you to slide the motor out. Here we have our Somfy motor. If you notice on the bottom of it, it has our motor drive cap, and it's got our auto clutch right here. Again, it's set up for a left side. So when going down on the left side, if something gets in its way, it will stop the motor once it hits something. Now the first step we're going to do is we're going to actually remove the whole clutch and the motor drive itself. But in order to do that, you can take just a flathead screwdriver, and if you look closely, there's these two wings that basically hold it in place. So if you pop that in 180 degrees, we'll pop the other one in, the whole thing just pops off. Now we have the clutch and the motor drive separated. What we're going to do is separate the motor drive from the clutch, and in order to do that, you're just going to remove this screw and the spacer. There's the screw, there's the spacer. Once we remove the screw and the spacer, what we're going to do is we're just going to take off the motor drive. And actually what you can do is see the gold plate, you can pop that off. And if you've noticed, we marked this one with an L on it to let you know that it is a left side. If you look very closely, you can see on here there's an L. That will let you know that it was a left side clutch. Once that's off, very carefully, go ahead and hold the top of the clutch so it doesn't come apart, and you can remove the motor drive. Once we do that, it's going to show you the top of the clutch. Again, there's another gold plate. It is marked with an L. Let you know that it was an auto clutch left. And we're just going to actually remove this whole piece. Do it slowly so the locks and the retaining clips don't pop out. and this will show you the inside. On the inside, there's going to be 2 locks, and there's going to be 2 retaining clips. And basically what you're going to do, if you look very closely, next to each lock there's 2 more holes on either side. What we want to do is we want to take the locks and the clips and flip them over. And I suggest you start with one side. So we're going to remove this lock, and we're going to remove the retaining clip. Once you remove the retaining clip, you just flip it over, and it goes in the slot right next to it. Okay, that retaining clip is flipped. On this lock, there's 2 sides. There is a top and a bottom. The top is going to be the shorter stub. The bottom is going to be the longer stub. We're going to replace that longer stub, the bottom, into the hole next to it, and that side is done. We're going to work on the other side. Remove the lock. Take the retaining clip. We flip it over to the slot next to it. We take our lock with the longer stub on the bottom, and you just place it in front of the retaining clip. Once that is done, you have basically changed it. Now it's just putting it back together. When you put it back together, you want to squeeze the 2 locks together and place the top part on. Once you do that, you're going to take your smaller gold plate that was a left, flip it over to a right, to where it says R on it. Once you place it on there, you can see all the holes will line up. If you go through in every single hole and nothing is lining up, then the clips are probably in the wrong position. But if you did everything right, all 3 of the holes should line up. So now what we can do is we take our motor drive, we place it back on, make sure it's snug on there. We'll take our plate that was a left, flip it over to a right, and this hole will match up with the only one that's actually protruding out, and that's what locks that in place. And this plate is actually what keeps the motor drive on. We'll take our spacer, put it on, we'll take our screw this all together. And now we have just made a right side clutch. So now what we can do is we can actually pop this back on. It's secure. We will slide our motor back into the tube. The most important part about sliding this motor in is that there is a key on this motor. This key has to fit directly into that slot. If that key does not fit into that slot, that motor will not work. So when you slide it in, make sure that key is sitting inside of that slot. We're going to go back in, and then all we have to do on this tube, line up the inner tube, line up the outer tube, and we can drill the hole back. We can drill the screws back into the existing holes. We'll turn it, or actually before we do that, we'll go ahead and take our strip, we'll put it back over so that way it secures our screen and the Velcro. We'll flip it over. Screw our last screw in. So now that we have done that, we're actually going to take this whole tube and we're just going to flip it. Now we can set it back up on our brackets. And that is exactly how you change a auto clutch left into an auto clutch right. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our office. Our number is 888-583-3361. Thank you.